Number one, number two. I'm shoving it in. I'm wiggling it around a lot. There's a hole in the side of it. Burning sensation. I've been there for about 30 minutes doing this. Moisture. Hey ChatGPT, getting me frying pan. You can't be littering in the canal. It felt like something out of James Bond. Sod off. Hey up folks, are we all sitting comfortably ready to listen? Now before today's story time, it's important I must mention the acts that I'm about to talk about in this video should not be carried out at home. Anyways, for those that don't know, I live on a narrowboat. This is barely the Barnsley barge. And there are some amazing things to be said about living on a narrowboat. The ability to move where I want, the ability to host boat parties. But there's also a few things when it comes to living on a boat that you've got to deal with that you might not have to in a normal home. For instance, the toilet situation. I do have a toilet on board Bailey the Barnsley barge. It's just over there. There's a circle in which you sit on. There's then a hole at the back of it with a bucket underneath, with a bin liner on the inside and some cat litter. You've then got a little hole in the front with, you could put a little bucket there, but my personal preference is an ice cream tub. I think you can imagine what those are for. Number one, number two. Right. There was this one time I was in the middle of winter and I was absolutely cold because it tends to get cold in the winter. And I've got my fire going. I've got a lovely little fire in the corner. I've got my pokey thing that I can poke into the fire to get the coals going and get the wood going and make a fire to keep me warm and to keep Bailey warm. I'm doing this and I've been there for about 30 minutes doing this and there's just nothing happening. There's no fire coming out. I thought, what's going off? And I was asking another boating friend of mine, Mark, who lives on Rosie and Jim's old rag doll, and he was saying that when you light a fire, you need to make sure that there's enough room inside of it so that the flames can actually develop. You don't want to stuff absolutely everything in there. And another thing to check is also to make sure that there's not tons and tons of ash in there. And he asked me, when's the last time you cleaned out the ashtray? I says, oh, I don't know. He says, you must know, Courtney. You've been living on there for 3 months. I says, when did I last clean the ashtray? Not in the last 3 months. He was like, right, well, you need to clean the ashtray. So I gets my big long stick. I'm shoving it in. I'm wiggling it around a lot. And before you know it, the ashtray at the bottom's getting filled with ash. I thought, brilliant, I can just dispose of this. But hang on. I am a big believer in reduce, reuse, recycle. I thought, I wonder what I could do with this ash. And then I looked over at the toilet and the cat litter lying next to it. Hey ChatGPT, can I use ash from a fire as an alternative to cat litter in my compost bog? I bet whoever created ChatGPT never expected the human race to be asking it questions like that, but we move. And ChatGPT was like, yes, it's very good. It will absorb moisture and it's a very good alternative to cat litter. I thought, well, happy days. I've found a little use for it here. Saves me buying on cat litter and it makes me fire happy. So I'm collecting the ash and I thought, just for safekeeping, I'll put it in the bucket. So I get my poop bucket. It's got the bin liner in, starts filling it up with the ash from the fire, and after a bit of removal of the ash, boom, the fire's going. Billy Joel didn't start the fire, Courtney Cyrus started the fire along with his great big red hot poker. We've got that going. I thought, happy days, and oh, the fire's going, it's amazing. I'm warming up, I'm getting my frying pan, putting it on top. I thought, boom, might as well scramble a few eggs whilst I'm at it, because the gas hadn't come on the gas boat. And I've got the bucket over there. And I'm looking at the bucket and I'm like, smells of burning. Now, I know I've just lit in a fire, and that usually produces some form of burning sensation, but I thought, nah, this is a different type of burning. This is like bad burning. This is like house burning down. I'm looking around, is anything happening? I'm having a look around, what's happening? I then looks down at my poop bucket. There's a hole in the side of it. I puts my hand on the bucket, it's scalding hot. I've put the burning hot ash in there, it's only gone and burnt an hole inside of my poop bucket. I goes, oh my lord, I didn't wait for the blooming thing to cool down. So I gets my bucket, I'm thinking I've got to do something with it, it's setting a fire. So I'm running round, I'm thinking, what do? I know, don't you worry. Go over to the tap, put some water in it. I gets my poop bucket, I shoves it under the tap. I've been meaning to fix that tap for the past 3 months. I forgot to fix it. It's not producing no water. Get that off. No point turning it on and off. There's no water coming out of it. Never mind. I'll go to the shower. I goes over to the shower. Turns it on. Yeah, I forgot to fill the water point up when I went to the water point. There's no water in the engine. I'm thinking, what am I going to do? I know. There's a little water bottle filling up station right round here, and I take my glass water bottles and I fill up water and I drink that throughout the day. Let me go and pour some of that on my burning hot poop bucket. Would you believe it? I used the last drop of that this morning in my cup of tea. I'm thinking, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? There's literally no liquid here. Now, thankfully, I am living on the water. I'm not going to go and tip my poop bucket in canal. Just you watch. The first time I'm in an emergency and I've got to tip my burning hot ash into the canal to stop myself from turning into fire, there'll be some geezer from Canal River Trust coming by saying, oh, you can't be littering in the canal, even though you can find all sorts in that canal. Carpet, sleeping bag, hoodies, animals, I've had it all in that weed hatch. Anyway, never mind. We move. I'm looking around. There's no liquid. There's one bit of liquid on this boat. Remember I said there's 2 holes in that toilet, including one at the front with an ice cream tub? Well, me, being the genius that I am, forgot to empty it out this morning. So I runs to the toilet, I grabs my pee bucket, I tips it on, fire, whoosh, boom, grey smoke. Honestly, it felt like something out of James Bond. Was it all settled? Fire was put out. I saved the day. I caused the issue, but I still saved the day. I then has a look at my bucket now with the holes in it and the, how should I put it, deformities in it. Because you know, if you ever heat plastic up and it starts shrivelling up like, you know, Albert Steptoe, as if he's just been bathing in a load of lemon. I'm like, this, I've got to do something with this bucket. So that obviously went to skip. And then I was like, I ain't got a bog now. I actually ain't got a bog. So next morning, when I had to go drop kids off at pool, I'm there, saucepan and Asda carrier bag. That's all I've got. Got to do that. I mean, I put it in the dog litter waste bin just outside. What I did, it's an insult to dogs. Anyway, got this situation going off. I says, I need to go sort this, but I need to move my boat. Every 2 weeks. And I couldn't do it in the days coming up because I had an audition. So I gets on my boat, I sails it, I ends up going to Paddington. Now, this was actually alright because I thought, if I need to go drop kids off, I'll just go do it in Paddington Station. Not on the floor, like just walk into the station and, as in like the toilet in Paddington Station. And there's also, if anyone knows this area, the Rembrandt Gardens. Very, very nice. Unfortunately, the bloke bogs were under some sort of maintenance work and they weren't available. But the women's bogs were available. And to be honest, most people think I look like a woman. So I thought, boom, I'll walk in there and have no issues. And that's exactly what I did. Even when I was going to my audition that I had, it was at Dance Attic. It was for Derriere and a G-string. I went to the dance audition, had my shower there because I've run out of water in the water tank, as I say. Went and made sure I went to the toilet there to, you know, cleanse the system. And did my audition. I bet there were no one else in that audition like me. I'm like, I'm living freezing cold on a boat with no running water from tap, no watering tank, no bog. There'll be some pampered poochies on here that have just been out performing on cruise ships and living life O'Reilly, and then there's me that rocks up. I thought, anyway. We moved, we cracked on, we did it all. Had my shower afterwards in the showers in Dan's attic. I mean, no disrespect to Dan's attic, but that water was blooming freezing. Anyway, we move. Next day, I gets up. Morning routine. Shave. Shower. Couldn't shower. Something else that begins with SH. Couldn't do that because my toilet is set afire. So I goes to Rembrandt Gardens and goes in their toilet there. And I'm there, and if you know, you know. Sometimes you sit down and you're like, yeah, I'm fully booked for the next 30 minutes, put it that way. So I gets there. Long gone are the days of sitting down on Bogwit newspaper. Newspapers talk a load of rubbish anyway. I sits down, I've got my phone with me. You know, going through news and all this and And then I gets an email. I'm like, oh, let's answer this. What is it? Oh, Some Smith and More. Dear Courtney Cyrus, thank you very much for attending our recent auditions of Derriere and a G-String. We would love to offer you the role of Twitch. I was like, way! So I actually found out that I got Derriere and a G-String while sat on the toilet in the women's toilets at the Rembrandt Gardens because I'd set fire to my own bog. So I thought, well, that's amazing. I've got that, and I'm still here, sat on bog. As I said, this was a 30-minute procedure, as in what I was doing. Anyway, I've got my phone. Literally signed the contract there and then on my phone. I was like, yeah, thank you very much. Did all that. Got up and I was so happy. I says, you know what? I'm gonna treat myself tonight. I'm gonna treat myself. Now, Paddington, for those that don't know, there's a lovely park just near it. It's more near Royal Oak Station. It's called Westbourne Grove. Some really nice Iranian restaurants up there, and I'm half Iranian, and I love Iranian food so much. I says, you know what? I'm going to go treat myself. I went up to this Iranian restaurant. It was called Sodoff. Literally, it was called Sodoff. If my dad was here, he'd probably give me, you know, the correct pronunciation, but he's not here, so you're going to get my pronunciation. And it's called Sodoff. I goes and gets me kebab and has me food. And then I'm walking down Westbourne Grove, and as well as the Iranian restaurants, they've got some Indian restaurants, they've got a couple of Greek, they've even got a Lebanese restaurant. And I goes past this Lebanese restaurant, there's the bins outside, there's some rubbish bags, and right next to them, there's some empty buckets. Now, these used to be 15-kilo buckets of tahini. Obviously, they've used the tahini, the buckets outside for rubbish man to take, and I looked at it, I thought, that'll do. Picks that up. So now I have a tahini toilet.